Hello everyone, Charles Moon with Prosper Trading Academy, back with you, bringing you another daily commentary. Now, today, I want to talk about a sector that we don't talk about too much, and in fact, considering how the markets have performed, this is a sector that is now surprisingly starting to rally. It is the airlines. Let's take a look. This is LUV. The LUV crossing over that 200-day moving average, especially on August 3rd, where they found that immediate support, basically launched this stock 4 points straight to the upside. With, if you want to call that a pullback bar, that's absolutely fine. Let me magnify it so you can take a look. There is a lot of strength coming into this sector right now, a lot of money, and it's pretty darn bullish. Let's take a look at UAL. After earnings, a huge gap open, a small pullback, and they've made a nice little move. AAL has struggled, and it's not surprising considering how much weaker AAL has been to their counterparts. Let's look at DAL. Delta is now showing that sign of strength, and the key factor in Delta is that the breakout from 56 could have it launch towards that $60-62 mark. I have a few favorites. SAVE is one of them. LUV is another. They've looked more, how do I say this? They look stronger than their counterparts. UAL could be very similar in that light, although I would kind of pair UAL and DAL together. But ultimately, we are seeing the strength in these names, and we're probably going to have to look for relative pullbacks. Now, just to kind of give you a sign of how bullish things have been, when I pull up SAVE, this is why I like the upside in this name. For one, it seems that the value airlines are catching a lot of the recent traffic, and in fact, they've changed the game so much that airlines like United and American have had to price match, in essence, offering much lower price tickets, but same thing, no check bags, extra fees, such and such. But here, the old high is a quick double top, so to speak, and after it gapped open, immediately became support. I mean, this is a perfect reference, and this shows institutional support. And in the short term, if I even draw this right now, maybe it won't hold by the end of this video, but at least for the moment and the most recent swing low, let's see if I can just draw this out. There you go. It's basically hitting a nice little uptrending trend line here after it found that immediate support at old highs. So that's a pretty bullish sign, and I like this bullish behavior. Now, even if it does happen to breach, as long as this level sustains, it's a beautiful sign. If you've ever heard of the terminology, the golden cross, well, that's exactly what's taking place in SAVE. It's where both the 250-day moving average is ascending, and we get the 50-day crossing over the 200-day. The death cross is when it does the opposite, but this is the golden cross. It's very bullish. So from a short-term to long-term perspective, and a few of the other indicators that we're using, I just see that there's good potential in this name. Now let's talk about resistance points. Well, it's clear that we're finding there's a potential swing high resistance right at this old high, the March 14th high of 45.82. You also have that swing high at 48.81. However, if it happens to breach this, that should be the upside target. And if you're buying from here to here, that's a 10% gain. And so there's nothing wrong with trading up into resistance as long as you're using profit as a buffer. And that's kind of how I would analyze this. I probably wouldn't be overly aggressive in pursuing this opportunity. I'd try to be patient and look for that pullback buy. And if it ever sets up, then you know exactly what you do. There's a lot of bullish signs. In regards to LUV, of course, what's really going to be dependent is how it sustains above this 200-day moving average. The key resistance level, which is right here, is now right above, and it's already deflecting down from that particular level. They have a pretty substantial gap fill right here also. So if it takes out that level, that's where I would suspect that buyers would be driving it up. Not all the way to the 52-week highs, but really right into that gap fill price right there. And this is another thing. You're going to look for the pullback. Currently, the 200-day moving average is 56.77 as of today. The 50-day is well below the 200-day. Okay, that's how suppressed the stock has been. But it basically came off a quick higher low, and I'll show you that in a second. In fact, in my last Twitter video that I talked about when I was giving signs of a reversal, and I'll show that here in a second. This was an early indication. We actually made a slightly higher high than these levels here, coming off of a lower low. On the pullback, this low did not take that level. In fact, it didn't even test it. It started bouncing just above that price, and then we created a higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high. When we get higher highs and higher lows, that is the definition of an uptrend. And we saw that the trend reversal was starting to take place there. Again, the aspect is that it actually made the higher high and higher low, and that kind of keyed us in on what the potential was here. And you can see how reactionary it was, finding support at the 50-day moving average, that orange line, right in this particular price range on 7/11 and 7/12, July 11th, July 12th. And when it came back to retest it here on July 24th, 25th, and 26th, it not only held, but then of course it exploded above. You can see that it got below the 200-day, but it actually gapped above. The 200-day on this day was 53.40. The low was at, I read that wrong, sorry. That was the ATR trailing stop. The 200-day moving average at that time was 56.69. The low of the day was 56.80. So within 11-cent range, it basically went from lows to highs. It opened near lows, closed near the highs on this bar right here, and we exploded above. Now, are there other names that you could watch? Yeah, you could look at ALK also. That's Alaska Airlines. They're starting to wake up. This is a highly volatile stock, but if you actually catch the correct side on this, there's no other airline name in the sector that could provide the kind of yield this name can provide. I'm just being very honest. Look at this day's range. It was $7, $6.90. It was pretty much $7 in one total range. And this is just how the stock is. It just moves in this light. In fact, they just breached the 200-day. If they close above today and open, I don't suspect that high is going to hold. I think that there's going to be a pretty quick test to that $70 mark. I love the ALK, and in fact, I feel that it is undervalued. Let's not forget, they also own Virgin Airlines, as they bought out VA quite some time ago, and they're now starting to expand. Not only are they adding more flights, but they're also adding more airports. It's a higher end price point, more of a luxurious style of flying, but you know, the kids and Instagram and all that free money that they get, why not live it up? Personally, I love this airline. Them, JetBlue, and a few others, way better than taking the other airlines like DAL and AAL. But of course, you're paying a premium to fly with this particular airline. All in all, from a trading standpoint, we're starting to see signs of life coming in. Again, higher highs. We did make a lower high here, but we're still making the higher lows at this moment, and you can see how it's starting to move off of this particular price range. Is pretty good. We'll have to wait and see. Okay, we'll have to wait and see. As long as that ascension occurs and this particular price level gets taken out, let me draw that out here. And that one is going to be at 65.76. As long as we get above that level, I suspect the potential breakout can take place. Keep an eye on ALK, LUV, SAVE. Again, I'm not the biggest fan of AAL, DAL, and UAL, but out of those three, UAL seems to be the strongest. All right, folks, so wrapping this up, just wanted to say that stock and stock options trading involves a substantial degree of risk and may not be suitable for all investors. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. If you haven't already, push on that notification button. Follow us on Facebook at Prosper Trading Academy, on YouTube, Prosper Trading Academy, on Twitter at Prosper Trading, and myself on Twitter, C Moon Trader, to stay on top of this news and information, potential trade ideas, yada, yada, yada. All that good stuff, folks. All that good stuff. Take care and have a great rest of the trading week.